Yo, what's going on, everybody? Los here, coming back at you with another video. And this time, this is my haul video from the 3 Men in the Basement Winter Comic Crawl here in Massachusetts. And I was able to pick up this stack of books right here. So, if you want to know what I got, you know what to do. Hop on that train, take a journey with me. Alright, so we're back, and like I said, I got this nice stack of books from the 3 Men in the Basement Comic Crawl. It was here this year in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. The first stop was in New Hampshire. And this crawl is put on, obviously, once a year. Sometimes they try to do it in another time, but it's mostly in the winter. And this year we had it again in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. I think next year might be in a new location, but nonetheless, it was a great time, to put on by the 3 Men in the Basement guys, Otto, Chinmo, Roger, put on a great show. I know Chin goes through a lot of effort, setting up the stores, getting these places involved, and giving us time to actually go and do some digging. We don't just actually show up. These things are set up for us. So there's a lot of things involved behind the scenes that get done to make this happen. So appreciate that, Chin. Yeah, it was just a great time. We did have a bit of a snowstorm this time around, which was kind of crazy, and it let up at times, but a lot of people couldn't make it just because of the storm. People were driving up from different locations, and some places were worse than others. For me, it wasn't too bad. Once I got past a certain area, it didn't get it kind of cleared up. Highways were actually not that bad. Side roads were a little iffy, but all in all, it wasn't too bad. And I told these guys, I'm like, hey, if my job wasn't going to be closed in something like this, then and I had to go to work, I'm definitely going to go try to get some comic books. So I'm glad I did, had a great time. And, what I'm going to try to do is I am going to show a little bit of footage of each spot that we went to. I think the second location, I didn't get footage of the actual store just because when I got in there, it's kind of tight location. And, we got in there and do some digging, and it's hard to do it with, one hand or whatever. And, it was just tough. So I just wanted to get in there and start digging. But I did happen to get footage of the first and last location. So we're going to do that. We are going to show some footage, and then you're going to come back, and then I'm going to show you the books that I got from that location, and then we can kind of talk about. So the first location that we went to was Richard's Comics in Hudson, New Hampshire. Great location. I wish I can get there more times without the crawl, but their times are a little wonky. They're not open for very long, and it's limited, hours, limited time. So it's nice that they open this up for us on a Saturday, which they're not open on Saturdays. So Jim, opens up the store for us, sets everything up, and it's a great time. We still had quite a bit of people show up, which was awesome. And we're gonna check out that footage now. You're gonna come back, and I'm gonna show you the books that I was able to get. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoy that footage. I try to get a little bit of footage, but when you get into places like this, for me, I try to take footage kind of quick, and then I want to go right into digging, right? Just because, it's first come, first serve, right? If you're there, you might miss out on a book and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get in there and try to get books as quickly as I can. So, like I said, the first location was Richards Comics in Hudson, New Hampshire. Like I said, great spot. They really packed the place in with a lot of stuff. There's, dollar bin section, $2 bins, back issues, wall books, toys, everything in there is for sale, basically. And Jim also sets up some tables outside of the venue. So, inside the store, you get everything there. But then outside, there's also more stuff. And I found a bunch of stuff in there inside. So, it was just a great time. And, he gives you just a great deal. So, we're going to go over the books that I was able to pick up from Richards Comics. So let's open up the comic cam so we can do that now. So these first books were in a dollar bin section. It was just hey, I'll pick these up for $1. And like I said, it didn't matter because at the end you get a pile and they're gonna give you a great deal. So first book I got was this one right here. This is Farmhand #1 from Image Comics, and I believe there was some talk of this being optioned or something like that, which all indie titles seem to have been getting optioned, but I heard this was a really good story, so glad to have issue #1. This is the first print, so I was like, hell yeah, I'm scooping that up. Next, we have this one right here, and this is Universe X Special Spidey. The reason why I got this is there is a recalled edition of this, so there's some books that are labeled by I believe the writer. He kind of had some, issues with, he took issue with certain things, and he wrote a little note on some of the books. I believe it's on page 2 or something like that, and you kind of look in the book, and if it has the words in the book, that's the recalled edition. Could be a pretty pricey book. If it isn't, it's just a regular book, but I took a shot at it because it was in a dollar bin, so you definitely snag that and, take a look. This is not. Next, we have this one right here. And this is the Ultimates Series 2, number 6. And I believe there's a first appearance in here. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'll look it up and post it there. But yeah, again, first appearances in the dollar bin, I'm going to scoop them up. And the last book I believe I got in the dollar bin was this one right here. And it is Batman 636. I am not particularly collecting a Batman run or anything like that, but when I do find some of these runs in this issue, I usually scoop them up. Next, we have another first issue, and that is Southern Bastards. Jason Aaron, I like Jason Aaron as a writer. I liked his, I believe he did the run on Thor, God of Thunder. And that was one of my favorite reads of Thor. Another, first issue in these, indie titles. It's a first print, so, I had to scoop this up. This wasn't in the dollar bin section. As you can see, it was a $5 price tag. But again, don't even mind these prices because it's not what I paid. One of the series that I am trying to finish, because I realized that I actually have quite a bit of books of hers. I was like, hey, you know what? Let me actually just try to finish this run. It was only 38 issues. I have some of the bigger ones, so I'm like, might as well finish them off and get some of the ones in between. And that is Harley Quinn. And this is her first solo series. And this is issue number 16. So I was like, well, yeah, I need that. Issue number 21. And issue number 22. So I have not read this entire series, but like I said, I do have quite a bit of issues. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to scoop these up, right? They're there, and I'm going to try to finish this run. I'm not a particularly run filler guy. I don't collect a lot of runs, but if it's short enough and I have enough issues, might as well go for it. All right, let's move this out of the way because I was getting a little stack there. All right. Throw those to the side. Okay. And next, another run that I'm actually trying to finish. And speaking of the guy who doesn't complete runs, trying to complete runs here. But one of the books that I needed to complete the run of the regular covers is this one right here. Zatanna number 9. So with this book, actually, I complete the entire run. I believe it was only like 16 issues. But issue 1 can be a little pricey. And then we all know issues 11 through 16 are very pricey. Well, not very pricey, but they can be because of the Adam Hughes covers. There are also issues 1 through 6. Also have 1 in 10 Brian Boland variant covers. And with that one, I am missing only issue number 5 to complete that run. So couldn't find that this time, but I found this one. I was able to complete at least a regular run. So now I'm only on the lookout for issue number 5 of the Brian Boland. Next, we have this one right here. Thought this is pretty cool. It is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 52. And this is like the reveal of like Jennika. Issue 51 was her first appearance. This is basically her second appearance and like reveal. And then later on, issue 92 or something like that, she becomes a turtle. So thought this was pretty cool. Snagged that. This is a book that I just scooped up just because I like to collect. It's kind of weird, but like death covers, and it's not like people dying, but like death herself, right? Or themselves. So this is GI Combat number 280, and thought this was just a cool death cover. I always try to get it, whether it's in DC, Marvel, any indie title. I try to get it, so I thought it was pretty cool. It has like swastikas on the playing cards. Thought it was just a cool cover, so I'm like, yeah, let's scoop that. And again, like I said, when you scoop up more books, the more books you get, the better deal you get. Next was a pretty sick Black Widow variant cover. So never saw this variant before. Thought it was pretty sick. You have Black Widow there, and it looks like it's funny, she's in the silhouette of a person. It kind of looks like Daredevil, but I don't think it is. I think it's just the red. But again, it was a cover that I never saw before. I think this is like a 1 in 25. Never saw it before, so I was like, I'm scooping this up. And the last one that I got from Rich's Comics was this guy right here, a book that I've been looking for a while. Some of these hip hop covers are hit or miss. Some people are trying to get them all. There's certain ones that I really want, and this is one that I really wanted, and is this one right here. It's Elektra number 1, and this is the hip hop variant. I believe this is like the Jay-Z one, and this was just a badass cover. And I definitely had to get it. There was somebody there collecting hip hop covers. They were trying to get a bunch of them. This one, I was told that this was in there because I asked them if they saw that, and they were like, yeah. It's like, cool. If you see it, scoop that up for me. But I went through it, found it, and I'm like, yes, thank you. So that was the last one from Richard's Comics. So as you can see, nice little haul. And this is nothing compared to some of the books that people were getting there. People were getting some really, really good deals. It was a great time. So we stayed there for a little bit. I think we ended up staying there a little longer than we were gonna, just because people got there late. I got there late, and then after that, we made our way to our next stop, which was Counterplay Comics in Burlington, Mass. This is Chinmo's his LCS, and we've gone there before. I've gone there, plenty of times on my own. Great store. It's a little store, but they pack a lot of stuff in there. Great wall books, back issue bins. They have a lot of new books as well, toys and all types of stuff. Nice place. The owner is awesome, and I didn't take video of this place. I came in and I was running a little late. And we got to a certain point where it was like, hey, we're going to wait until everybody gets here, and then we're going to kind of like dive in together so that nobody kind of has, a leg up or whatever, if you will. And so, I didn't have time to like grab all my stuff and do everything. So I was like, you know what? I just want to get here, be ready to start digging. So sorry, there's no footage of this store, but I'm going to show you what I got. So the first ones that I got were actually not part of the crawl, right? So he set up a table or a couple tables, and they had like comics and toys and manga and all types of stuff, and everything was $2 or whatever, $3. Toys were $5, and it, blank covers, just a bunch of stuff. But I found these in another section, which is like the kitty section, right? A lot of people don't really look in those boxes. I tend to look at them because people miss some stuff. And I just happen to see these in there. And, it's like, it's not anything crazy, but I remember the show. And it is Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. This is issue number 2. Nice little newsstand. And also issue number 1. Newsstand. So thought that was pretty good. They were both in the the kitty section. They were $1 a piece. I'm like, yeah, I'll scoop these up. I actually enjoyed the actual TV show. It was like a game show for kids. And then, they turned it into a comic book, and then obviously it became more, a cartoon and stuff. But I remember it when it was actually an actual game show. So that was pretty cool. So I scooped that up. But now here's the books that I was able to pick up at the crawl, basically. So this one is one that never really seen before. So I was like, yeah, I'll scoop this up. I've heard of the title, but never seen this one. And it is... Zombies versus Cheerleaders, I think. This is issue number 5. The cover D, which is like a Virgin cover. Interesting cover. I was like, again, it's one of those books that I'm probably not going to keep, but, for a couple bucks, sure. Next, we have this guy right here, and this is The Walking Dead number 35. Anytime I can scoop up early Walking Dead issues, I'm going to scoop them up. I don't have, like, the entire run. But I do have, certain ones. I don't have issue 1 or 2 or anything like that. I think the earliest one I got is issue 6. But, whenever I can scoop up the early issues, yeah, why not? Next, we have this one right here. This is Batman number 37. Cool little double date cover. Thought this was pretty cool. This actually goes for, decent, about $10, $15, something like that. So, yeah, I was like, hell yeah. Next, we have this one right here. We have... Batman the White Knight number 1. This was actually a really good story, really good read. To find issue number 1, first print, yeah, sure, why not? Next, these were pretty cool. We have Daredevil number 248. So I believe this is like the first, meeting or battle between Wolverine and Daredevil. That was pretty cool. And 249. So you have, both books in the story there, so you want to kind of put them side by side there. But yeah, so scoop those up. I was like, yeah. All right, I'm gonna move these out the way because I have a nice little run of stuff coming up. So in these boxes, he had a nice, run of X-Men books, and I can never say no to X-Men books, so I'm like, I'm gonna scoop these up. So first one up, we have this one right here. And that is Uncanny X-Men, number 146. I'm not sure if there's a first appearance in here or not. But if there is, I will look it up and put it there. Next, we have issue 184. And this is the first appearance of Forge. First appearance, I'm going to scoop it up. Next, we have Uncanny X-Men 222. Just an awesome battle cover between Wolverine and Sabretooth. Definitely scooping that. We have Uncanny X-Men 229. And I think there's a first appearance in this as well. It kind of spiked when the X-Men TV show came out, the new one, X-Men 97. It might have died down, but, again, still a first appearance. I'm going to scoop it. Next, we have this one right here. You have Uncanny X-Men 234. There's an awesome Wolverine cover, kind of transitioning into some kind of animal. Awesome Mark Silvestri cover. I'm not going to say no to Mark Silvestri. And then this one was actually really cool because it's X-Men 239. And this is another great Mark Silvestri cover. But it's also the second appearance of Mrs. Sinister and the first cover appearance of Mrs. Sinister. So like, yeah, you can grab that. Next, these last 3 that I got here are, wild to be in these boxes, right? To be in these like $2 boxes. First one we have is this one right here. And that is Eagle Comics presents Judge Dredd number 1. And this is actually the first U.S. appearance in comics of Judge Dredd. He's in like something 80 2000 or whatever. It's like a UK publishment. It's like a bigger almost like a newspaper like type of material. It's bigger format, but this is the first U.S. comic appearance of Judge Dredd. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna scoop this up. Another one that I was like, yeah, is this one right here. We have V for Vendetta #1, and you know, Alan Moore goodness. I haven't read the comic, but I saw the movie. I love the movie, and yeah, I was like, this was in the box. You know, I'm pretty sure some people went by it, maybe didn't know what it was, or just kind of didn't care. I knew what it was, so I'm like, I'm grabbing that. And the last book that I found in there, which I thought was crazy, it kind of got passed by a few people. I'm like, I don't know. Again, I don't know if people just didn't know or didn't care or looking for something else and just kind of passed it. But the last one I got is this guy right here, and that is Teen Titans #12, first print, and this is the first appearance of Batman Who Laughs. So that character right there. This was actually pretty cool. He was a pretty cool character. Who knows if they're gonna, you know, do anything more with that character. I thought it was a pretty cool character, and you know, a lot of people, you know, seem to have digged that character. You know, who knows now with the whole Absolute universe going on, but hey, you know, again, first appearance of an awesome character in a back issue bin. Yes. So, and I think all these books were like $2 a book, but if you got 3 books, it became $5. So 3 for $5. So I, you know, tried to make it so that it was on an even thing. So I got like 15 books, and then the other 2 that were in the dollar bin. So great deal. Got all those books for, you know, what, $22 or something like that. Yeah. And yeah, so that was crazy, but excellent time. You know, I appreciate those guys for throwing that and doing that for us. He always puts out great books. Last year was the same thing. You know, awesome deals, and so we just had a good time. So after that, we went to our last spot, and the last spot was Little Giants Comics in Lawrence, Massachusetts. So another great place. Been there before at the crawl. And you know, it's not even just a store, like it's comic shop. It's like everything. So this one I did get footage. So go and watch that footage. Then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna show you the books I got. So back, hopefully you guys enjoyed that footage of the store. Like I said, it's like an antique slash comic slash card, statues. They have everything, records, all types of stuff there. So, if you're in the mood to go look for some stuff, not just comics, definitely go check them out, right? So all these places will definitely be linked down below. I'll put, all the info for these places down below. So definitely go check them out if you got time. So in this last place, in Little Giants, another great deal. They were giving out, deals left and right. 25% off all comics, 20% off or 10% off everything in the store. Buy two, get two free pops. Put on a great time for us. They just have some good books. A lot of times they have pretty good books on the wall. Good books in their boxes, back issue bins. It's mostly older books. They don't really have newer books as far as like current runs. It's usually they have modern books, but not not now books, basically, right? So going through, I only got 4 books here, but I thought I got pretty good books. And the first one is this one right here, and we have there you go. So the first one we have is West Coast Avengers number 46, and this is the first appearance of the Great Lakes Avengers. So thought it was pretty funny, but it's also the first appearance of Doorman. I believe he's made an appearance in the new Wonder Man show. I haven't checked out the show yet. I actually heard really good things about it, so I'm definitely going to check that out. But they have like a whole episode dedicated to this character. So, hey, found this in the I believe this was in the back issue bin or it was in the wall, but it was fairly cheap. I'm like, yeah, I'll snag that. Plus, I knew I was getting a discount anyway too, so I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Next is a book that has gotten pretty hot because of the trailer that just came out, and it is this one right here. We have Masters of the Universe number 1, and this is from Star Comics, so an offshoot of Marvel. I know this is not his first appearance. First appearance is like DC Comics Presents, but that book is very pricey, and this is the one that was a little more affordable, even though this book is actually starting to go up in value, like I said, because of the show. And I believe, they had this marked as like an 8.0 or something like that. There's a little bit of, spine ticks and like a little, maybe a corner thing or something like a line down the corner over here, but it's not color breaking. So I think I can press this out and, who knows, right? Maybe I'll send this off or something like that. I liked He-Man growing up. Not sure if I want to keep this or not. But, I thought it was a pretty good deal to scoop up. Next is another cool one, and that is this one right here. We have Spider-Gwen issue number 24, and this is the first cover appearance of Spider-Gwen, or Gwenom, right? Where she gets taken over by the Venom symbiote. So you can see all the spiders kind of crawling up on her now. But this is actually the second print, and you can tell by the blue banner up top, it's blue. The other one I think is white or something like that. So thought it was pretty cool. They had it for a really good deal, and I knew I was going to get even more. So I'm like, yeah. And the last book I was able to scoop there, which is one that I had before. I sold it because it had some issue. And this one looks pretty clean. I like the character. I like what they're actually doing with her in the MCU. Some people might not, but I do. And that is this one right here. So it's Inhumans number 5. And this is the first appearance of Yelena Belova. We all know her in the Thunderbolts movie. She was also in Black Widow, played by Florence Pugh. Has done an excellent job with the character. I mean, obviously she's nothing like the character in the comics, but again, you take some liberties and you change a few things for the movie. But thought it was pretty cool. They had it for a really good deal, so I scooped it up. Awesome Jay Lee cover, awesome Jay Lee art, and I was like, scoop all these up and get a nice deal. There was a book that I thought I was gonna get, and I thought I grabbed it, and then I didn't grab it. But it is what it is, right? But I'm happy with the books that I was able to acquire there. And it was a good time, right? Taking some video, hanging out with everybody, just having a good time, seeing what other people are digging and picking through is awesome. And then afterwards, so after this last spot, before we were going to go to dinner, we had kind of like a parking lot swap you know. So I brought some books. Chin brought some books. You know, he just brought a collection, so he had some books with him. A couple other people have brought some books too, to kind of like dig through and check and see if you want to do some trading or selling or whatever it is. And you know, I saw a book that I wanted, that Chin had, and he saw a book that I wanted, that he wanted, and I'm like, yeah, you know, let's make a deal, right? So the book in question is this one right here. So we got Marvel Comics Presents number 28, and this is the first appearance of the Legion of Monsters. So we got Man-Thing, Morbius, Wolfman, Werewolf by Night, and Ghost Rider. So thought this was pretty cool. You know, he had it for, you know, 75 or something like that. The book that he wanted was Green Lantern 48, first Kyle Rayner. I had it graded as a 9.8, and we just traded straight up. You know, the monetary value, if you look it up, it wasn't too far off. And you know, I was like, I have another copy of that book, so it wasn't like a big deal. And yeah, you know, I was like, yeah, I'm happy to, you know, to give him that book. I know he wanted it. He's not a graded guy, but he wanted the book, and it's like, hey, it's a 9.8, might as well, right? So I got this one. I thought this was awesome. Who knows what's gonna happen with these characters? Who knows if they make their appearance? I think Man-Thing made an appearance already. Werewolf by Night might have made an appearance as well. Morbius, obviously, in Sony, and Ghost Rider. You know, who knows if he makes an appearance, but you never know, right? I know they're trying to lean more into like the darker tones of the MCU, so you never know. There's a chance, right? But it's a book I always wanted. Thought it was pretty cool, and yeah, happy to have all those. So those were all the books that I got from the 3 Men in Basement comic swap. Like I said, great time. You know, thanks to those guys for throwing it. I know it's a lot of work to kind of put this together. You know, happy that everybody showed up. So it was cool to meet people, you know, for the first time that I haven't met before. I spoke to John from Old Stuff is Cool. You know, great guy. You know, he came over to me and said, hey, you know, I watched some of your videos. I'm like, oh shit, cool, thanks. You know, and then we got to talking and stuff, and you know, through the stores, you know, we were kind of talking and seeing what you're getting, who, you know, what books you're scooping up and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, just had a great time. Again, you know, thanks to those guys, Otto, Roger, Chin, especially Chin for throwing this, you know, going through all these stores and kind of setting this up. So like I said, definitely, if you're ever in the neighborhood, definitely go check out these stores. Richards Comics in Hudson, New Hampshire. Counterplay Comics in Burlington, Mass, and then Little Giants Comics in Lawrence, Massachusetts. So definitely go check these stores out. They're all great stores. Like I said, I'm going to put all their information down below, so definitely go check them out. And hopefully you guys enjoyed those books. And until next time, talk to you guys later. Peace.